Smells like football, baby.
What's going on, people? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Smackdown. I'm your host, Kyle August. You can follow me on Twitter at KyleMonth8, and you're checking out Waiver Wire Sniping for Week 10. These are the players that you can stash on the end of your bench ahead of the Week 9 kickoff for free, and make sure you're prepared for those Week 10 matchups. Of course, Week 9 is kicking off tomorrow, Sunday, if you're listening to this on the day it releases. And my boy Dallas held down the fort with a start-sit show for the Fantasy Football Smackdown on Thursday. So if you missed that, go check that out. Appreciate him covering for me. But happy to be back. Looking forward to waiver wire sniping. Some pretty decent options this week, I feel like, that you can stash, including some players that might even be better than who you're playing this week. So let's just dive right into it. We got 4 teams on bye again in Week 10. We have the Bears, the Bengals, the Texans, and the Giants. So not a ton of fantasy-relevant players off the board, but definitely some that we've been leaning on that will be unavailable in Week 10. Looking at the QB streamers for next week. If you're obviously watching on YouTube, you can see that this photo of Taylor Heineke, who is my number 1 QB streamer, represents how I feel about that call. I don't love it. He's 10% owned. He gets Tampa Bay. The first month of the season, Heineke was awesome. 3 out of 4 starts. He was stellar. Then since then, he's been really bad, including some matchups that we expected him to be putting up major points, like the Kansas City matchup just a few weeks ago. This one feels similar. At home, though, against Tampa Bay. Both teams will be coming off the bye week, so hopefully Heineke can find that fantasy gold once again. He's my number 1 streamer. Number 2, just based off the matchup, I'm going to go with Ben Roethlisberger against the Lions at home. He's 23% owned. I think just for the week, he has the second most upside, so that's why I have him ranked here. But you know what you're getting with Ben Roethlisberger right now at this point in his career, 23% owned. Number 3 on this list is Trevor Lawrence. I don't like the matchup as much against Indy. Trevor Lawrence is 39% owned. As far as if you're looking for a guy to stream and then hopefully potentially rely on for the rest of the season, this is probably your best option. The Jaguars matchups the rest of the way are really solid. They get the Rams and then New England way out in Week 17. But other than that, they play a lot of weak defenses. So that could be your best kind of stash option if you're looking for a streamer as well. Number 4 is Teddy Bridgewater. Gets the Eagles 24% owned. That's going to be in Denver. I think he's probably the safest of the bunch, to be honest with you, if you just want a really, really safe floor. But Bridgewater also has a bye week in Week 11, so this is purely 1 week stash play and then drop again, more than likely. And number 5 on this list is Taysom Hill. If he was the starter for the Saints, he'd rocket ship up to number 1. So this is more of a stash candidate. Honestly, I don't have any problem with you just stashing Hill, seeing if he gets the opportunity, and then one of these other guys will probably more than likely be available. But as far as streamers go, here's how I have them ranked for next week. All right, running back. Some stashes at the running back position. This Baltimore backfield looks shaky, right? We don't really know who it is. Freeman has gotten the touchdowns the last few games. Latavius Murray, we were hoping was going to be back off the bye week, and he was not. So Baltimore is going to be rolling with Freeman as their starting running back this week in Week 9. Then when you take a look at the Baltimore schedule, they have a short week. They play on Thursday Night Football next week against Miami. So Freeman's the top stash candidate, 17% owned as of now. If we knew Murray had any chance to play, he'd be a little bit higher. He is on this list at number 5, as you guys can see. But I think for right now, you have to assume if Murray couldn't even put in a practice, has already been ruled out for Week 9, it's unlikely that he's going to be available on the short week. So Freeman's my top stash as of right now. The rest of these guys all have question marks. That's why they're widely available. Mark Ingram, 38% owned. Let's see how this Saints offense looks. He got a decent amount of run in his first week back with the team after the trade, but we'll see if they lean on the run game even more. Alex Collins, 45% owned. Last time we saw the Seahawks, who are on bye this week, Collins was splitting time. Chris Carson, not expected to be back yet, but Collins his touches have been diminished as they've given more to Penny. He's still the lead back there, so I think he should be stashed, but he's not going to give you that top 15 upside that he might have had a couple weeks back. He's more of a fringe flex guy. Number 4, this is more of a stash guy, Jeff Wilson for the 49ers, 26% owned. Yes, that Jeff Wilson could add some cloudiness to the San Francisco backfield. Mitchell's dealing with an injury. Wilson could be activated off PUP this week, so we're going to get to take a look at him. I don't mind stashing him just to see if they turn to the vet right out of the gate. I mean, they've done weirder things in the past, so this is definitely a guy I'm looking to stash. And Latavius Murray, last on this list, 38% owned. He's owned more than Freeman and Wilson, but The injury, man, we just don't know. He's purely a non-play this week and then probably next week as well. But I still like to stash him because I think once he is back and healthy, he's the lead back for the Baltimore Ravens. Deep stashes at running back. Jarrett Patterson had double-digit touches the last time out. Washington's on the bye this week, but Patterson's only 2% owned, worth stashing. And Devonta Foreman signed by the Tennessee Titans. He was with this team last year, got a little bit of run late in the season, nothing much to write home about, but he's only 1% owned. I would just take the stab. I mean, I think that, yes, AP is getting all the highlights, but Foreman's been in this offense before with this team anyway, a year ago, and he should be a little bit more owned. So I would try to stash those two guys. All right, wide receivers. Now the Raven at the top. Keep hyping this guy. I think this will be the last chance. This will be your last chance, Adam, if he's available in your league. Rashad Babin, the rookie, 36% owned. I've mentioned it over and over on this show. I don't know if I can touch on it anymore, but I think he's in for a big second half. He should be rostered in more leagues. Right at the edge of that threshold, for me, 50% is usually the cutoff, and Michael Gallup is at 49%. Sounds like he's going to be able to play this week for the Dallas Cowboys coming back from injury. CeeDee Lamb's a little bit banged up. Amari Cooper's been a little bit banged up. Cooper's been banged up, but playing through it. Lamb twisted an ankle this week at practice. But Gallup's a guy we've seen Wilson be fantasy relevant at times, and Gallup is more talented than him. So get a piece of that Cowboys offense. Number 3, Jamal Agnew. Yes, the Jaguars wide receiver. Dude, this guy's been leading the team in targets as far as the receivers go, and he's only 9% owned. It's been looking like they've been trying to make an effort to get the ball in this guy's hands. Number 4 is Rondell Moore, the rookie. We know that DeAndre Hopkins is questionable for this upcoming week. We know that A.J. Green has already been ruled out due to COVID. So this could open the door for this guy to get a few more looks. He's been explosive when he's gotten them, but this is an offense that's been spreading the ball around a lot this season. And number 5 on this list, 29% owned as well, is Bryan Edwards for the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, the unfortunate situation with Henry Ruggs is going to open up some targets in this offense. And Edwards is a guy he's kind of been boom bust. He hasn't really found the end zone, so those high numbers haven't been there. But low catch totals, high yardage has kind of been his game. We'll see if that continues. We'll see if he gets a few more looks in for this Raiders team. Their schedule is sweet down the stretch. Deep stashes. Zay Jones, copy paste what I said about Edwards. I think Jones could be the guy filling in for that Ruggs role. So worth a stash, available at almost every league. He's only 1% owned. And James Washington, this one is less attractive than the Zay Jones look, but Washington was playing more in the slot the last time we saw Pittsburgh. And that was a kind of a change for him. He's usually been an outside guy. If they put him in the slot a little bit more, he could be viable in some deeper, like 14 team plus PPR leagues. So take a look at James Washington. All right, here might be my favorite stash of the week if he's not already. Dan Arnold. I mentioned him on the waiver wire show earlier this week. I like him a lot in his week 9 matchup. I think you can go ahead and add him right now, plug and play. He's been highly targeted. I know he has a tougher matchup against Buffalo this week. Then gets the Colts in week 10. I think he's going to be your top streamer for sure. Then he gets some really good matchups. He gets San Fran and Atlanta at home. At the Rams is tough. Then at Tennessee, Houston, and the Jets the next 3 weeks after that. I think this guy's going to be a top 12 tight end the rest of the way. You need to go at him right now. You could potentially just drop your current starter and plug this guy in and roll the rest of the way. But regardless, try to stash this guy and roll with him in week 10 and beyond. Number 2 on this list is Tyler Conklin. Targets have been up and down. I like him a lot this week in week 9. Week 10 against the Chargers, I don't love him as much. He's 37% owned. But I think he's in really good shape for week 9. So take a look. If you're not in love with your streamer this week, I think Conklin, similar to Arnold, is worth adding now. You can just play him in week 9, stream him in week 10 as well. And number 3 on this list is Albert O. We know that Noah Fant will not be activated off of the COVID list this week. I think Albert O is a top 12 tight end for week 9. And if Fant has any trouble getting back to it, then I think that'll continue. This is a guy that's seen a decent amount of targets this year, has shown in his one game last year without Noah Fant that he can get it done. He's talented. So take a look. And I noted him on here in injury stash. He's 53% owned. Rumor is Logan Thomas is going to be ready to go after the bye week. He's 53% owned. Go add him now. If he's out there, this is a tight end solution for you guys if you've been struggling and streaming. DST is wrapping it up. I don't love any of these this week, but you're playing the matchups. Green Bay, we'll see if it's Geno Smith or Russell Wilson. They're 29% owned, but it's in Green Bay, so I'll take the shot, even with Seattle coming off the bye. The Chargers get Minnesota. That's going to be at home in LA, 27% owned. And the Titans get New Orleans, 9% owned. Those are your DST streamers for week 10. So there you have it. Appreciate checking out Waiver Wire Sniping. Be sure to keep tuned in to all the DWZ Network shows. I'll be back on Tuesday with Fantasy Football Smackdown Waiver Wire Special, getting you set for Week 10. Good luck this week. We'll see you guys later. Take it easy.